Hello and welcome to another version of Computer Cut Pro. It's the same as Computer Cut, but it's a little bit different. In this tutorial, I'm going to show you how you can save your version of a pattern. In Pro, it works almost exactly the same as the old Computer Cut, but with a little bit of difference in the path editing feature. Also, we've had a lot of people ask us to provide two types of side windows. The regular side window and then another version that is higher than that version. We haven't done that because what might fit to one person doesn't fit to another person. Some people remove door panels so they don't care how long it is. Some people like it an inch below the weather stripping. Some people don't put it below the weather stripping at all. So if we make a pattern bigger in height, how much bigger do we make it? Do we make it a 1/4 inch? Do we make it a 1/2 inch? Do we make it an inch? It's kind of all up to individual preference. So in this tutorial, I'm going to show you how you can add whatever amount you want to a side window and then save that pattern so that it fits exactly the way in which you like it to fit. So I pulled up this Cadillac Escalade and I'll click on the driver window here and I'll hit the cut button and it pulls into the cut window here. And as you probably know by now, you can view an image either as a vectored line image or you can view it as a fill type of image here. In this case, we're going to work with the line image. So I'm going to pull it out in the middle here so I can work with it and go back to the line image. And the first thing you're going to want to do is to be able to go open up the path editor and edit this bottom part so that you don't distort the top part. And this is where there's a big difference between the old Computer Cut and the new Computer Cut. In the old Computer Cut, if you hit the path edit function here, a totally separate window would pop up and you work within that window and then you would click and apply it to the cut window. In Computer Cut Pro, everything is done in the cut window right here, so it makes it a lot easier to work with. Also, all you have to do if you want to open up the path edit feature is to just double click on the image and it pulls you into the path edit. So once you get into the path edit feature, you're going to want to select the points that you want to move. So since we're going to be adding to the height of this window, we want these points down here. So I'll click and drag a box around these points and it'll turn them to red. If you want to select additional points, all you do is just hold your shift key down and then drag around that point and it will select it. So we're going to pull this down about a 1/2 inch. So I'm going to just zoom in a little bit closer here and then I'll go over here and I'm going to put my pointer right here. And as you can see over on the left here, it's just a little bit higher than a 1/2 inch. So I want to pull it down a 1/2 inch and so I just pull like this and right there, that's about a 1/2 inch right there. So I just click outside of it and then click close. And now I have a window that is a 1/2 inch higher. Now if you want to get more accurate than that, I'm going to click undo here. And we'll go back to the same window and I'm going to double click on it, which pulls it into the path editor. And I'll click and drag a box around these points here. And I'll go up here and click on this corner up here and hold the mouse key down and pull it down and it brings down the X and Y coordinates. So when I put it right here, it will zero it out. Here is 0 right here. So if I want to pull this down a 1/2 inch, I just click right here, grab it and pull it down to a 1/2 inch right there. And there you have it. So I'm going to close this out and then click outside of it here. And now I want to, you have two ways in which you can shortcut this. If I select the pattern and hit F7, that quickly zooms right into the pattern. But I want to make a copy of this. So if I hit F8 on the keyboard, it zooms out to the blank size here. So I now have this pattern. And I'll pull it down here and then make a copy of it. Pull it up here. And then I will flip it horizontally and then rotate it so it's going to fit in here. Move it up a little bit. And now I have the driver and passenger window. If you want, you can color this black as if it were a passenger window. This is something that you could not do in the old Computer Cut, but in the new Computer Cut you can do that. To do it, what you need it to do is to open up your color palette. I have it open here, but the way in which you open it, you go to View, Palette, and then click on Show Manufacturer Palette. So I'll select this and then click left on the black and then right on the black, and as you can see, it turns it to black. So now that I have these arranged the way in which I want them, you go and minimize it just like the old Computer Cut. And I'm going to go in here and I'm going to select these. You can select patterns just by clicking through them like that. And let's say these are the patterns that I would do mostly. So I'll hit Cut button and it pulls it into the cut window along with it. I'm going to zoom out and arrange them the way in which a little bit closer. So I'll just click and drag a box around them like this and move it a little bit closer. And now I just go to File, Save as my version. And I click Yes. You are about to save my version. Proceed. Click Yes. And now I'll go back into the, I'm going to close this out. And once it opens, I'm going to go to Recents because I just did that. So we'll go to Recents and Cadillac Escalade. And it's going to ask me, there is a private version of this pattern on your database. Do you want to load it? I click Yes. And it pulls in the pattern. And so now I have these windows that are raised in height so that it's going to fit exactly the way in which I like it to fit every single time I pull up this pattern. If you want to add other images in here, you can just go back and go back to your original version and pull them in with this image here. If you want to remove your version, you just go down here to remove my version of this pattern. Click on it. It'll ask you, do you want to delete my version of this pattern? And click Yes. And you now default back to the original version of the pattern. So that's how you save your version of the pattern and adjust it so that the windows fit exactly the way in which you would like them to fit.